Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Today I am meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health stress for February 6, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we maintain a storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our Patient Weather storefront support the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for Friday, or the 6th, we can see that high pressure still dominates much of the western half of the country. However, cold air, frigid cold air, will be plowing back into the east. We have that low pressure center just north of New York State, with the cold front hanging all the way through Buffalo down to Asheville and then cutting back across the south, swinging its way all the way to Dallas. Notice that while the frigid air will be flowing all the way south into the south, including Florida, the unsettled weather will be mainly across the Midwest up into New England, swinging back down to that western portions of the Appalachians, taking in West Virginia. Looking at the vitality index, which is our composite measure of all of the different variables that might impact human health, you can see we still have a little bit of activity trying to push into Montana. Lots of activity here in the upper plains and Great Lakes. We have that cold in the frontal system across the south, and a lot of that unsettled weather here in the middle Atlantic states up into New England. Looking at pressure change, falling pressure is what we'll see here in Montana, and then falling pressure all the way from the southeast across Georgia, South Carolina, up into the Ohio Valley, picking up Ohio, West Virginia, and then all of the coastal states from the Carolinas through Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, everywhere up and across all of New England. You'll note we have rising pressure here in the northern plains, all the way from Kansas to North Dakota, from Missouri up to Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Michigan Upper Peninsula. And as we get to the change in oxygen availability, you'll see this is the general area of migraine. Temperature change for Friday will be quite interesting. And you'll note that we'll be seeing a new surge of very cold air here across the northern portions from the Dakotas all the way across Minnesota into the Great Lakes. And note that even though we'll have the freezing temperatures here, and that there's still a rather increase in temperatures down here in the south and southeast. Looking at the change in dew point temperatures, you'll see we have falling dew point temperatures here in the north. We have rising dew point temperatures with that frontal system across the east and up into New England. But note we have a increase in dew point temperatures here in Southern California and in southern Arizona. Looking at POI, or our change in the atmospheric oxygen available, you'll see that we have that migraine risk from Kansas through the Dakotas, from Missouri up into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Michigan Upper Peninsula. We do have a risk of migraine here across much of California into Oregon. But the big issue, of course, is the asthma and arthritis risk. That's with that frontal push, and we have that stretching all the way from actually eastern Texas, but really picking significantly up across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia, across the Carolinas, up into Ohio, and especially sharp across Pennsylvania, and then north through the westernmost sections of New England. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, let us know where you're located.